I've witnessed atrocities previously reserved for the eyes of war veterans, all thanks to
the existential crisis rectangle.
Now I sleep for 2 to 4 hours a night due to the incessant, deafening chatter in my mind.
Immediate and complete reports of local blood and gut.
What happened was true. The most bizarre and brutal series of crimes.
Hello, everyone. You may notice that we're not in the car. There ain't really nothing special about that, but the lighting in here does suck, and I broke my ring lights via moving, so yeah, anything like that. I got it. It is what it is. Anyway, we're here to talk about something that is been requested. If you would like to support me in my grammatical lessons or perhaps brain surgery, no, we're actually going to be talking about an iceberg. Yes, but we're not going to be diving deep into the iceberg, and there's a lot of reasons why. So bear with me. So first off, just looking at this was an iceberg that was posted onto Reddit under the guise of being a more extreme ultimate not safe for life iceberg or whatever. Now, if you don't know, a couple years ago, about like 1, maybe 2 years ago, I finished wrapping up my series, which was a long form iceberg series on my premium pages called the Ultimate Not Safe for Life Iceberg. That stuff's actually available publicly now, but it did set the bar for a lot of kinds of content like that at the time. It inspired a lot of people. So that's pretty cool. And at the time, it was arguably the most popular and extreme iceberg. I mean, that was attention everywhere. It was crazy. So, like I said, when I was making that, there would be people who go more and more extreme and keep going and, you know what I mean, etc. It doesn't end. It's like that with any kind of media that does that. So this doesn't really surprise me to see, but there's a reason I'm talking about it other than, oh, new iceberg that might be shocking. We're gonna start with the legend on this, okay? It has a legend. It has 5 tiers and a legend that explains basically what we're dealing with. So you got CH for child harm, SH for self-harm, AA for animal abuse, ZOO for bestiality. Okay, those aren't the same thing, I guess, whatever. SA for SA, and CSA for child SA. Oh, how comforting. That's gross. But I have friends in law enforcement and stuff like that, people who are very well seasoned, people who actually operate and do investigations with criminals who do really fucked shit, like, you know, murderous shit. So I get a lot of insight when I ask questions about things, and then I can always do things like, hey, how much of this is actually real? And that's exactly what I did. And because it just so happens that quite a few people in law enforcement really, really like gore. They also are into the content as an analytic thing and a bunch of other things. That's besides the point. So diving into tier 1 here, they got things like porn gore 1 through 4. And they do give credit to a lot of people here. Now, that's where my first gripe kind of started coming in. That's the little bit of you know, the nitpickiness of my like fixation on just the what is it, like the justice of having information right on this. And it's because, like, this, I'm just gonna tell you, most of this is fake. Like 95% of it's fake, and then the stuff that really isn't is a bunch of greasy, gross, like really gross Redditors that want to take credit for each other's gore mixtapes, and that's lame as hell. And coming from me, someone who's like into, like, you know, the gore culture, so to speak, and like underground horror and stuff, I find you cringe. Get against the wall. This wall specifically, and then we'll show you some fucking gore. But I mean, the very first things on here, for example, you got like MD Pope and a couple other things by a Reddit group called Bleaksville, which they self-stroke all the time. It's nothing new. Then you got people, though, taking credit for things by like Ripper. Now, we've had a whole finagle about Ripper. Ripper is a actual, like, dark web, like, international child predator name that is used and copycatted all over the world. Well, didn't know that up until recently, but we had a major issue with content creation, even sending things to Wendigo, like that MD Pope 5 thing. That guy who created it was a Ripper copycat. A guy who literally put together compilations, quote unquote mixtapes, of baby, CSA, and violence. Yeah, he's also a good friend of That Creepy Reading and Lazy Bedhead. That's kind of strange. But you got things on here that were made by him. Like there were certain Ripper mixtapes, and then there were ones that were completely made up. For example, hold on. Like I don't know all of these, but I did ask, hey, what's a few fake ones, for example? And here's one, for example, that I really I want to just kind of nitpick at is this thing that's here is down on 4, the 9th circle. Oh wait, that's just a misplaced title. I'm dumb. It's on tier 4 here, and it says the Scully Collection volume 1 through 4. Now here's the thing. I don't know if anybody's out there collecting Peter Scully's other shit other than Daisy's Destruction, because he made what people would typically refer to as like just, I don't even know, not violent shit too. And that was regulated in circles and stuff, I guess. But the thing is, I don't think there's anybody out there really compiling this together, and there's no official title. Like, this is all corny and gross. And when you really, really look at it, it's just a bunch of dirty Redditors sensationalizing pedophilia and glorifying it. Because the majority of these are basically just CSAM and Ripper stroking suspiciously and Bleaksville stroking and a bunch of people that I really just, I mean, I are just connected to awful and illegal activity. And I also feel that it was kind of created as bait for people like me and other content creators, because while doing content creation and getting into all the messes I have and learning which content creators you like that are connected to actual criminals and awful people, yes, including Mr. Giant Man, they will do things and have their friends go on a Reddit account. Like they'll age sock accounts and stuff, and it will be a full operation for about a handful of content creators in a Discord. It happens. And what they do is they'll plant things like this, and then they'll start covering it, and then you'll notice that, oh, Charlie's covering this, Moodhar's covering this at the same time, they're covering this at the same time, and it's almost like all the same crap. And that's because it is, and a lot of it's fake and intentional. I've decided to go mask off 2025. I know who my friends are, and I will no longer be keeping my mouth quiet, shut, so to speak, for the benefit of people that protect monsters. But ultimately, it's just a big crock of shit. Like, let's look at the end. I put my phone away. So going down to the bottom of the legend here, a bunch of shit by somebody that claims a PCWHP, which there's a lot of that, and the titles are very simple, so to speak, so I kind of believe those would be real. I know that's kind of like weak circumstantial, but let me explain that kind of stuff in just a second. You got something called Antichrist, just a beginning. Jesus of Nazareth, beyond repentance. Sounds like a lot of religious trauma for you guys out there. The toy box of pain. You know what I mean? And it's literally just all like, what is this even posted for? What is this even for? Like, who's this even, like, you put this together allegedly knowing a bunch of stuff, right? And I'm just saying you as in like some person, as if they're watching. They probably are. It's literally that lame. Now, it's like you put this together, made half of it up, and then the stuff that probably is real, it brings into question, how do you know it's real? Because I can be like, hey, is any of this real? And they're like, oh yeah, well, this is an illegal thing because it's, you know, this, that, and this. People have been arrested with this. Like, I can do that. But a lot of people can't. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just really nasty, and it plays into my paranoia that, like, basically a lot of the nasty people I deal with like kids. They do. It's fucking gross. I hate it. I hate them. But this is one you won't see me dive into and break down. So if you want like a real iceberg, go find someone else's iceberg. That way you can't say I'm just shilling myself. Or if you can check out the Gore Gods cut of my remake from the ground up of the ultimate not safe for life iceberg. I want to release a censored version as well for everybody, but there is an uncensored version available. Check out the links in the description. It's not out yet, but there is platforms for that type of content that you can explore safely with yours truly. Honestly, I really just can't get over the fact of how, it's going to sound egotistical, but how right I was about this, because even going way back to Amber Alert, and that changed me, like, mentally and everything. Not in a good way. Literally, like, it took a part of my body out of me. Like, my soul was gone, realizing how violent and scary the world can actually be, because that opened the floodgates for the popularity as well of these kinds of freaks that try to get attention off of their content. Now, the thing about this is, too, is I went on about how a lot of it's fake and how they're making it up and this and that. And here's a big thing I want you to think about when considering that. Criminals in general, let's think about some of the most illicit kinds, like, I don't know, there's not red rooms and shit. Sorry to break that one to you too. We'll have a video on that eventually. But let's say a child predator, right? Somebody who consumes content that is highly illicit, like Christopher Wolf. And those kinds of people, what happens is, and why you see arrests with like, oh, they had 5, 10, 16 terabytes, it's because commercializing child exploitation material is not a thing that is popular, because it will get those people caught, rightfully so. It should get them a lot worse, but they don't really do it. It happened with Peter Scully, and that was part of the reason people hated him. Other pedophiles hated Scully. They hated him, they hated his shit, they hated he tried to sell it, because what they do is they go, oh, I'll give you my collection, you give me yours, we'll put them together, we'll sponge it, and it goes off. It's like a trash meteor that just keeps grabbing more and more as it goes. And that is how those things work. And why I'm telling you this is not only so you know, but so you can actually use some critical thinking. That sounds belittling, but I'm just a little frustrated. It's the ignorance of certain people that just believe things like off the bat sometimes. People who are doing illicit activity, disgusting, crazy things, they don't want to get caught. People don't. And you could be like, oh, what about BTK and the Zodiac? They taunted police as an egotistical thing. That was like a thrill. People who have sexual perversions that are illegal like that, they don't want to get caught because they know the repercussions. It's not even just jail. There's social repercussions. They could get killed. A murderer is going to be more well received than a child predator. And sorry, not sorry. That's right. That rightfully so. So they're not going to go off. I can promise you, it would be a very rare occurrence. It would not be on this scale to make an iceberg, let alone have all of these things exist with all these egotistical Reddit updo gathering names. It's for attention. And you'd be in shock to realize how much illegal things people even do for attention. Please look back to the TikTok child exploitation incidences where they had videos as your profile pictures and children thought it was funny to put gore and child exploitation material up there. That is a thing. That, like, I don't understand the phenomenon mentally and the hoops people go through to do these weird things, but I will say that it's really disgusting, and it's a trend that keeps recycling and repeating itself because, again, even going back like a couple weeks ago or whatever since I recorded this, when I posted the thing about the AI filter with the minions and the gore, I even said way back before I blew up on certain things that, like, it's going to get worse now. Now that you're seeing this in the forefront, it's going to get worse. 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 And then it's going to plateau to something. Something will happen. There's going to be a little bit of a dip again, and it's going to repeat. It's kind of like trends and stuff. Like goth and emo shit came back way harder as we got older. You know what I mean? It does. Trends do repeat themselves, even the nasty ones. You just got to know what the hell you're looking for and what to actually take with a grain of salt and not. And this, just stay the hell off Reddit. And I ain't saying that just because all the creepy groups go there to slander me and try to crucify me for being evil. I'm telling you because it's a toxic hive mind cesspool. It's where I jokingly pulled my fan base's hive mind name from because it was fascinating that if you disagree at any capacity or give any kind of criticism to a thread or anything, they will like dox you and everything. Like, it's a toxic platform and culture that hoists itself on a fake moral high ground while bootlicking the most vile people and hosting highly illegal content as well. Like, it's not a safe place there, believe it or not, but who cares, I guess, right? But I think that's all I got to say about this one. I've been rambling and ranting long enough. I don't want to dive deeper into it because there really isn't anything, and even if there was, it wouldn't have substance because it's based in shit and ego just to praise and get attention to disgusting people. And that's dumb. But if you like content like this, or you like content that actually is gruesome, crazy, true crime that we really deep dive into, then check out the links in my description. Check out the channel here and subscribe. Hit the bell icon. Hit that bell icon and hit all notifications for me. I know it's kind of annoying, but it helps me in the long run. And that way, when you get that backlog of videos or whatever you want to watch, all the notifications are up there. You can clear them. It doesn't even matter. But the fact that you have those on, it helps a lot. Joining the conversation down below can also help and stuff with the growth of the channel. I mean, granted, we've had to start from ground zero all over again. That's fine with me. I'm happy to be here and giving you the best I can give. And I really hope that I can continue to do so, or rather restart, because there was a dip. Definitely fell off for a while, just not for the reasons that people are saying. It's because I decided to speak out. But I will ask you one thing. If you do have a Reddit and you're ever tempted to go defend me or anything anywhere, what I would rather you do is troll the ever living hell out of my detractors, ruin their brains, Literally, go to a Reddit, go to r/YouTube drama, and just post Frieza saying hello monkeys. Anything. It would be hilarious. That is something funny. Because I'm not bothered by people who are upset that they can't face death or the truth or the disturbed reality of things, so to speak. I'm upset at the nature of protecting disgusting people out of parasocial blind illusions that they manipulated via social media. Shout out to all the fans out there who have parasocial relationships with creators that don't actually even give a shit about them or know they exist. Moth is here for you. Stay safe out there. I love you all dearly, and remember, if it bleeds, it leads. Mic drop. I'm joking. That shit's way too expensive.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the State Police. Have received reports of abducted children within their homes. At approximately 11:55 p.m. Eastern Time, it is confirmed that the suspects who are causing great terrorism and shock to kill any people who abducted almost have children with it. As a precaution, keep any child 12 or below on your sites and must be monitored them for all costs. Do not attempt to approach the suspects as they are considered extremely armed and dangerous. Stay tuned to the station or local media outlets for further updates on this dangerous situation.
This place will be fun.